Hello and welcome back to Drama Series Recaps. I'm your host, Melody.
And I'm Lara, and Mel, I'm vibrating with excitement for today's episode. I think this might be our most requested recap ever.
Oh, for sure. The DMs have been flooded. We've been building up to this one, letting it marinate, because you can't just casually recap a show like this. It's a cultural reset. Today, we are finally doing a deep dive into the global phenomenon, the one, the only, crash landing on you.
Yes, Siloy. I literally did a full rewatch this week. I've got my notes. I have a box of tissues right here on my desk, just, in case. It's one of those shows that's just lightning in a bottle. It's perfect. It really is. And for anyone who might be new to K-dramas or maybe was on a deserted island from 2019 to 2020, Siloy was this massive South Korean drama that just exploded. I mean, it became the highest rated TVN drama ever. It wasn't just a hit in Korea, it was a global hit thanks to Netflix. Totally. And the premise alone is so completely wild that you have to see how they pull it off. It sounds like fan fiction, but like the most high-budget, beautifully written fan fiction you've ever seen.
Right. Okay, let's set the stage. We start with our female lead, Yoon Se-ri. She's this incredibly successful, beautiful, sharp-tongued CEO of her own fashion and beauty company, Sari's Choice. She's a chaebol heiress, but she's not just some rich girl. She built her own company from the ground up because her family life is a nightmare. A complete dumpster fire. Her father is the chairman of this huge conglomerate, Queen's Group, and just before the show starts, he announces he's retiring and wants to make her his successor, passing over his two sons.
Her two useless half-brothers, Yoon Se-jun and Yoon Se-hyung, who are they're just vipers, and their wives are even worse. They're all scrambling for power, and they hate her because she's not only successful, but she's also his illegitimate child, which adds another layer of family drama.
Exactly. So Se-ri is on top of the world professionally, but her personal life is cold and isolated. So what does she do? She decides to go paragliding to test out a new product line.
As one does, a casual afternoon for a CEO, and then a freak tornado appears out of nowhere.
It's the most suspend your disbelief moment, but you just go with it. The tornado sweeps her up, knocks her out, and she wakes up hanging from a tree in a forest.
Not just any forest, a forest in the North Korean portion of the demilitarized zone, the DMZ. And who should find her but the most handsome, stoic, perfect soldier in the entire Korean People's Army, Captain Ri Jeong-hyeok, played by Hyun-bin, who is a global treasure.
Their first meeting is it's perfect. He's on patrol, he hears her on the radio she has, and then he just looks up. And there's this woman in brightly colored athletic gear tangled in a tree.
And she is completely unfazed at first. She just assumes she's landed in South Korea and he's a South Korean soldier. She's like, wow, you have a great face. Were you sent to get me? She's just so Yoon Se-ri.
She is, and he just stares at her, completely deadpan. The whole exchange is hilarious. He has to explain to her that she ran in the wrong direction, that she's on the wrong side of the border.
And she, of course, doesn't believe him at first, but then she sees the North Korean insignia on his uniform and just bolts, which is the right instinct, but she runs deeper into North Korea.
She does, and while he's chasing her, he accidentally steps on a landmine. It's such a great way to establish their dynamic. She's chaos, he's control, and she immediately throws his world into disarray. But this is the moment that defines everything. He could have shot her. He should have, by military law, turned her in. He absolutely should have, but he doesn't. He finds her again, and instead of turning her over to the authorities, which would be a death sentence for her and a disaster for his family, he hides her. He sneaks her into his own house in the military village. And this is where the show just opens up and becomes something so special. We get introduced to the residents of this little North Korean village, and it's the heart of the whole first half. Oh my God, yes. First up, we have to talk about his subordinates, Company 5. The fandom calls them the Ducklings because they just follow Captain Ri everywhere. The best boys. You have a Staff Sergeant Pyo Chi-soo, who is the grumpiest, most suspicious one. He is convinced Se-ri is a South Korean spy, and he is so mean to her, calling her a Southie and just generally being a pain. I love him so much. His whole arc is about him slowly, grudgingly coming to care for her. It's the classic tsundere trope. He's all prickly on the outside, but he's a total softie. Totally. And then you have Corporal Kim Joo-mok, who is like the audience surrogate. He is obsessed with South Korean dramas, which he watches illegally, so he's the only one who understands Se-ri's references. He's the cultural translator. He explains things like finger hearts to everyone. He's so pure. His dream is to meet his favorite actress, Choi Ji-woo, which we'll get to that. And then there's Go Mun-dong, the youngest, most innocent one. He's just the sweet kid who misses his mom. He's the first one to really warm up to Se-ri. And Staff Sergeant Park Kwang-bom, the quiet, handsome one who is oblivious to how good-looking he is. The four of them trying to help Captain Ri hide this glamorous, high-maintenance South Korean woman is just, it's the source of so much comedy. They have to sneak her food, lie for her. It's incredible. And it's not just them. We have the village ajumas, the neighborhood ladies. They are led by Na Wol-suk, the senior colonel's wife. They are so nosy, and they run the village, basically. They are, and at first, they're so suspicious of Se-ri, who Jeong-hyeok introduces as his fiancé from Division 11, like a special forces unit. Right, a terrible lie because she knows nothing about North Korea, but she slowly wins them over. She uses her knowledge of fashion and beauty, she flatters them, she gives them skincare products she brought with her, and they just fall in love with her. It's the ultimate found family storyline. Se-ri, who comes from this cold, transactional family, finds real warmth and community and friendship for the first time in her life in the most unlikely place imaginable. It's beautiful, and while all this is happening, the central romance is just simmering. It's such a low burn. It's all about the little things he does for her. He's so reserved, but his actions speak volumes. Oh my God, the little things. He goes to the black market to buy her South Korean beauty products. He remembers she likes coffee and makes her hand-dripped coffee every morning. He makes her noodles when she's sad. And the market scene, when she gets lost and he rides his bicycle for hours to find her. And then he holds up a scented candle he bought for her so she can find him in the crowd. Who does that, Melody? It's the most romantic thing I've ever seen. The man is a walking green flag. He's protective but not controlling. He listens. He's kind. He's perfect. He is. And of course, while all this cute stuff is happening, there's a huge threat looming over them. Let's talk about the villain, Cho Chol-bong.
Oh, what a snake. He's this corrupt, ruthless officer from the Ministry of State Security, and he is just pure evil. He's involved in all sorts of criminal activity, and he immediately becomes suspicious of Captain Ri and this strange woman he's hiding. And he has a personal history with Jeong-hyeok's family. We find out that Jeong-hyeok's older brother, Moo-hyuk, who was also a soldier, was murdered because he tried to expose Chul Chal-gong's crimes. Right, and that's why Jeong-hyeok is even in the army. He wasn't supposed to be a soldier. He was a brilliant concert pianist studying in Switzerland. But after his brother's death, he gave up his music to join the military and secretly investigate what happened. It adds so much depth to his character. He's not just a soldier, he's this incredibly talented artist who sacrificed his dream for his family, and it makes his conflict with Cho Chal-gong so personal. It does, but that's not the only complication. We also have to talk about the second lead couple because their story is a whole other drama in itself. The second leads that broke the entire world's heart. So we have Se-don, who is Jeong-hyeok's actual fiancé. Their parents arranged the marriage years ago. She's the daughter of a wealthy department store owner. She's beautiful, sophisticated. She studied the cello in Russia. She's the perfect match on paper. She is, and she comes back to Pyongyang ready to marry him, only to find out he's, in love with a South Korean heiress he found in a tree. It's awkward.
super awkward. And then you have Go Sung-joon, or Alberto Gu. He's this charming, intelligent British con man. And he's connected to everyone. He embezzled a huge amount of money from Siri's brother's company, so he's fled to North Korea, where corrupt officials like Cho Chul-gong are protecting him for a price. It's so messy. So these two, Sedon, the Ice Queen, and Gu Sang-joon, the charming rogue, keep crossing paths in Pyongyang, and their dynamic is incredible. He is completely smitten with her and just relentlessly flirts with her, and she just looks at him with pure contempt. It's a perfect enemies to lovers arc. He slowly chips away at her icy exterior, and she slowly starts to let her guard down. He's the first person to really see her, and not just her family name or her engagement to Captain Ri. And spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, but their story is utterly tragic. Just when they finally admit their feelings and you think they're going to get their happy ending, he dies protecting her. I'm still not over it. The scene where she finds him and he asks her which she liked better, the ramyun or him, it's devastating. Their tragic ending makes you appreciate the main couple's struggles even more because you know a happy ending isn't guaranteed. It really does. Okay, so back to our main couple. The first half of the show, episodes 1 to 9, is basically a series of increasingly desperate and failed attempts to get Seri back to the south, all while Cho Chul-gong is closing in. They try to get her out by boat, but the patrol is too strict. They travel to Pyongyang to get a passport photo so they can fly her out, which gives us that amazing romantic train ride scene. And during that trip, she gets kidnapped by Gu Sung-joon, who wants to use her as a bargaining chip with her brother, and Jeong-hyeok goes full action hero to rescue her. He gets shot in the process. And she drives him to the hospital and has to donate blood to save his life. I mean, the stakes just keep getting higher and higher. Finally, Jeong-hyok's father, who is a very high-ranking political figure, steps in and arranges a secret way for her to cross back over the border. And this leads to their first goodbye scene at the DMZ border. It is soul-crushing. They think they're never going to see each other again, and he steps over the military demarcation line, which is a huge crime, just to give her one last hug. I was sobbing, and that's the end of part 1, and you think, okay, she's home, it's over, but then the show completely flips the script for the second half. It does. Seri returns to Seoul and basically walks into her own funeral. Her family had already declared her dead to rush the succession. She just strides in looking fabulous, and everyone's jaws are on the floor. It's an iconic moment. She's back in her element, back in charge of her company, but she's miserable. She can't sleep. She misses him so much. All the luxury in the world means nothing without him. Meanwhile, back in North Korea, Cho Chul-gong is convicted but escapes custody, and he has one thing on his mind: revenge. He secretly infiltrates South Korea to kill Seri. And what does our hero do? Captain Ri learns about this, and he literally crawls through a secret, forgotten tunnel under the DMZ for hours to get to Seoul to protect her. The dedication of this man. So now we get this amazing role reversal. Jeong-hyeok is the fish out of water in Seoul. He's amazed by things like hot running water on demand in video games. Seri gets to be her protector, dressing him in designer clothes and trying to teach him about capitalism. The scene where she gives him a credit card and tells him the limit is limitless, and he's just like, what is this magic card? It's so funny. And then it gets even better because Jeong-hyuk's father sends the 4 ducklings to Seoul to find him and bring him back. Yes, the whole squad is reunited in Seoul. Their adventures trying to navigate the big city, seeing all the South Korean things Jumuk had only seen in dramas, it's pure comedy gold. And Seri arranges for Kim Jumuk to meet his idol, Choi Ji-woo. He cries. I cried. It's the most wholesome, wonderful moment. She gives them all new clothes and they have a fried chicken party. It's perfect. It's the best. But of course, the danger is still there. Cho Chul-gong is still hunting them, and Seri's awful brother, Sehung, actually makes a deal with him to get rid of Seri for good.
He is the absolute worst. This leads to the final showdown where Jeong-hyeok confronts Cheol-gong, but then Se-ri shows up and ends up taking a bullet for Jeong-hyeok. And she almost dies. She's in a coma, she goes into septic shock. It's so stressful. And Jeong-hyeok is just a wreck. Eventually, Cho Cheol-gong is killed, but then Jeong-hyeok and his men are taken into custody by the South Korean National Intelligence Service. Right, because reality has to set in. They can't just stay. They're North Korean soldiers who infiltrated the South, so they are sent back as part of a prisoner exchange. And we get the second goodbye at the border scene, which is somehow even more painful than the first. They have to be physically pulled apart, and you're just sitting there thinking, how? How can they possibly have a happy ending? You don't think it's possible, but the show gives us such a clever, beautiful, and bittersweet ending. It does. Before he leaves, we find out Jeong-hyeok set up a whole system to take care of her. He stocked her pantry, he scheduled text messages to be sent to her for an entire year, with instructions like, remember to eat, smile more. Stop, I'm getting emotional again just thinking about it. And we get this reveal that they had actually met years before in Switzerland, when he was a piano student and she was there feeling lost and alone. It was always fate. Total destiny. So the final solution is this. Se-ri starts a foundation to support young, talented musicians, and she holds an annual week-long concert in Switzerland. And Jeong-hyeok gets discharged from the army and becomes a pianist for the National Symphony Orchestra of North Korea. This allows him to travel internationally for performances. So every year they meet in Switzerland and spend 2 perfect weeks together. They buy a house there. It's their own little world. It's not the traditional happily ever after, but it's the most realistic happy ending they could possibly have.
I thought it was brilliant. It doesn't magically erase the political reality of the Korean peninsula, but it finds a pocket of happiness for them within that reality. It's hopeful and beautiful.
Me too. So, final thoughts. What makes this show a masterpiece? For me, it's the perfect balance. It's a romance, a comedy, an action thriller, a family drama, all rolled into one, and it never drops the ball on any of it. Absolutely. The acting is phenomenal, not just from the leads, but from every single person in the supporting cast. The writing is witty and emotional. The cinematography, especially in Switzerland, is just, it's a feast for the eyes. And I think the theme of human connection is what makes it so universal. It doesn't matter what side of a border you're on, people are people. They find love and friendship and family in the most unexpected ways. It's a story about hope. Well said. It's a modern classic for a reason. 10 out of 10. No notes. A must-watch. If you are one of the 5 people on Earth who hasn't seen it, please go to Netflix right now. You will laugh, you will cry, you will swoon. Definitely. All right, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. This was a big one, but so worth it. Thank you for tuning in to Drama Series Recaps. Join us next time when we'll be tackling another epic romance, the historical fantasy masterpiece, Goblin. Get your tissues ready for that one too. Oh, the lonely and great God. Yes, can't wait. We'll see you all then. Bye. Bye, everyone.